and we are back again on this segment where we get to premiere amazing artists who are visiting with us. And so today we have an amazing one in studio. His name is Israel Houghton. This is a guy who's a 6-time award-winning artist, Grammy Awards for that matter. He's a songwriter, he's a worship leader, and of course a recording artist, and we have him in studio today. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Grace.
How do you feel about being here?
I feel great, yeah. It's great to be back in Kenya.
This is your second time?
Second time, yes.
Okay. Karibu sana. Did they teach you the word karibu, what it means?
No, sorry.
Karibu is welcome.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's Swahili word meaning.
How do I say thank you?
Asante.
Asante.
Yes.
Okay.
So karibu.
Asante.
So Israel, you've been in the music ministry since you started singing the past 25 years. How has that been for you?
It's really been amazing to see the things that you set out to dream about and, you know, kind of cast vision about, and then you wake up, you know, 20 years later, 25 years later, and you realize I'm living in that thing that I had hoped to see. Yeah. So it's been quite a journey, quite an adventure.
You know, people look at worship leaders and they think they're made overnight. But what would you say has been your experience through becoming this person that you are? What would you say God has put into work in your life to be who you are today?
It definitely starts with the process. You know, the people that know me maybe for the last 10 or 15 years don't know that there was another 15 years that preceded that of just working and grinding and learning and giving. There's so much so much giving that, you know, and people don't see the sacrifice, they don't see the labor, they don't see the behind the scenes. They only see the, wow, look at this person or this group that made it.
They see the aftermath.
They see the aftermath, exactly. That's the word I was looking for. But I've learned to appreciate the journey, and I've certainly spent a lot of time lately looking back in a good way, just in a thankful way, just the way God has orchestrated every move and every step, and I think people do need to know that it is a process. I have found that most people who get frustrated that it's not happening yet are so close at that point, and I've seen people give up so close to a great, you know, they treat it as a breaking point rather than a breakthrough point. And I always just believed that, you know, I was here to do something, something significant, hopefully, but significant to my experience might be a different kind of significance to someone else.
Someone else, yes.
Yeah. My thought was, in order to be significant, you find yourself directly in the will of God. That's significant, and whatever He's put you into, affect those people around you, you know, whether it be 20 people, whether it be 20,000, that you're in step with what God has ordained for you to do.
So the thing is just staying, you know, focused to the end. Because
absolutely.
You said some people give up just when they're about to get to their break.
Yep.
You know, have you ever experienced that? Did you ever feel like you wanted to give up at some point?
I think anybody who's doing something stylized like this, very, you know, very clear calling for that long of a period of time, certainly has those moments where they want to give up, you know. Every Monday, every Monday you want to quit. But the truth is, you know, there is something to be said for, you know, if I read through the Psalms, David wanted to quit all the time. David despaired often, but he would always end his rant to God saying, nevertheless, I'm going to trust you and I'm going to keep going. And so that's been a good enough model for me.
Recently you moved, or rather transitioned from Lakewood Church, where you led worship for how many years?
15 years.
For 15 years.
Yeah.
How has it been, and how was the transition even for you and to where you are now?
Yeah, it was great. I had found myself already transitioning about 6 years ago.
Okay.
in my previous marriage, my wife and I at that time started a separation, and it was very quiet because of the platform we had. You know, we didn't want to disappoint a lot of people, you know, while we were going through the process. So I was already living in Los Angeles while still leading worship at Lakewood. So in that whole process, we knew that a transition was coming. Joel Osteen has been amazing to work for, still remains a very dear friend. And I was very upfront with him about the change that was coming. So we worked hard to prepare for that. And it's been great since, you know, I certainly miss them. I get back there from time to time to see everybody. But it's a new season.
And are you in the church now? Would you say you're leading worship constantly?
Well, I'm still obviously leading New Breed as we travel all over. And then my wife and I attend a church in Los Angeles, and we love it. And it's low key. It's kind of nice to just attend church for a while. I'll still lead there from time to time, but it's nice to just attend.
Yes. Yeah. All right. And while we're on this topic, what would you say is the importance of a singer or a music minister being rooted in church? Because a lot of times we have artists who are traveling, and it's not bad to travel, but we end up traveling a lot that you don't have a church where you're grounded. So what would you say is the importance of having a grounding in church as a music minister?
I think it is, certainly as a music minister, as an artist, I think it is paramount. It is vitally important to be sent from somewhere rather than just going wherever you feel and whenever you feel. There's something about being connected to a church and connected to a pastor and being able to export your ministry from there. And so that's been central to everything we do as a group. Everyone in our group knows you have to be serving in a church in order to serve in New Breed as well.
Amazing, because I think interacting with a lot of artists, you find some of them travel a lot, but you're not really grounded in a church, and I think that came out so powerful. And speaking of New Breed, you have been with New Breed for how long now?
We are celebrating, let's see, we started in 2000, so we're about to start our 18th year.
So it's been 17 years since, and now getting to 18.
Yeah.
Okay. What would you say is something that has stood out in your, coming together? A lot of groups break.
Yeah.
People start bands, they break, they split, people go separate ways, but what would you say is this one thing that has kept you guys together?
It is pretty remarkable thinking about it that New Breed has been together that long.
That's long.
And so we developed a few things from the very beginning. One is a phrase that says, "The thing of which I am a part is greater than the part I play." Wow. So we attempted to demystify the artistry and the enigmatic, we're a group and we're on TV and we've sold records and we do tours and to kind of tamp all that down in favor of we're here to serve. And there's a powerful scripture that we've kind of applied to our group as well. Yes. Out of the Message translation, Romans 15, it says, "Strength is for service, not status."
That's powerful.
And so the whole idea of God bringing us together as a group and us working together, and the platform that we've been very, very fortunate to stand on is not so we can say, hey, look at us, check out our Facebook page, it's growing,
yes,
or whatever our status is. It's more that God has given us some level of impact and position and platform so that we can serve more effectively. And so much of what we do and what we've done over the years has always been to give back. It's always, New Breed has essentially been a big mentoring component of ministry. So we've had a lot of worship leaders that we work with. Some are still with us. Some are connected to us at a distance because they're serving in other churches full-time and that sort of thing. But it's always been about giving back, serving the church, serving God's people, loving God, loving people. Lord, you are good, yeah. Lord, you are good and your mercy endureth forever. People from every nation, people from every...
I want you to talk to artists who are out there, especially in Kenya. We have many musicians, music artists, ministers for that matter, and a lot of times it gets to a place, and like you said, you almost want to give up. What would you say is that one thing that you would tell him to hold on to?
Well, I believe that many are called, few are chosen. We know that scripture.
Yes.
And we like to say that in a way that says, well, I must be one of the chosen then. You know, everybody's called, but I must be one of the chosen. Well, what comes with chosen is an incredible sacrifice, an incredible burden. And a lot of times, like King David, again, I do model a lot after him, he spent so much time in obscurity. And his only audience would have been his sheep. Yeah. And he's singing to them, and he's singing to God, and he's made, you know, he's even after he was anointed king, even after he was promised, you're going to rule this land. Yeah. He still went back to a place of obscurity and served sheep. And in this case, it'd be, you know, sheep are referred to as church folks, you know, congregants. And so sometimes serving sheep and serving people could be tedious, it could be boring, it could be frustrating.
A lot of times.
Yeah, I'm sure. I was trying to be nice. But as artists, I think we all have that sort of rock and roll fantasy, like one day I'm going to stand in a big stadium and everybody's going to be chanting my name, you know. And I got to be honest with you, that was never my dream. It was like never my dream. My dream was to honor God in whatever place he put me. And it just so happened that he kept opening doors. So I think to every artist, I would say there is something to be said for having a sense of humility and just saying, God, if you can use me anywhere. I found myself going to prisons and jails and nursing homes and places that, you know, were not glamorous by any means. Nobody was covering it on CNN, you know. It was just, we're just going to serve people. And I think that when you do that, you are serving the heart of God, and God sees that. And I just want to encourage everybody who's got a dream and who's going after it, certainly in the area of music and artistry, that God keeps great books. He keeps great record. He knows your sacrifice. He knows your labor. And you may not get a lot of thank yous in the place that you're serving right now, but I guarantee you God sees what we're doing, and it's going to be accounted to you. And when God rewards you for the work you've done, you can rest assured it's a great reward.
Thank you so much. I like what you said. It's not always the glam. There's more work that you need to put behind the scenes. And welcome again. When you come, you should come pay a visit once again. And our love to your wife and your children. And of course, New Breed as a whole.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
So there you have it, Israel, and hope to see you in the next segment.